As the cost of living continues to rise across much of the world, many people are beginning to ask the same question. Is it still possible to live comfortably on a modest budget? While $1,000 a month may barely cover basic expenses in some countries, in others it can provide a lifestyle that is both comfortable and rewarding. In this video, I will show you 6 countries where that budget still goes remarkably far, looking at the real cost of living, the quality of life, and what you can realistically expect in 2026. If you enjoy well-researched videos about travel, relocation, and global living, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's begin. Number 6. Albania. Albania occupies the southwestern corner of the Balkan Peninsula, facing the Adriatic Sea to the west and the Ionian Sea to the south, with a geography that moves from long Mediterranean coastlines through river valleys and into mountain ranges that dominate the interior. It is a place of considerable and largely undiscovered natural beauty, the kind of landscape that in neighboring countries has already attracted international attention and the price increases that follow it, but that here remains in a state that feels fresh and unhurried. The country spent several decades almost closed off from the outside world under one of the most isolated governments of the 20th century. That unusual history produced an unexpected result. Albania missed the wave of foreign investment and tourism development that reshaped much of the rest of the Mediterranean coastline, which means that what it offers today comes at a fraction of what the same quality of environment costs in countries a short distance away. Life in Albania moves at a pace that most people from expensive Western cities find immediately disarming. The Albanian people carry a tradition of hospitality called besa, a code of welcome and protection toward guests that is considered a matter of cultural honor rather than simply good manners in foreigners living there. Describe it as one of the most real qualities they have encountered anywhere they have lived. The food is Mediterranean in its foundations: fresh vegetables, olive oil, grilled meat, and seafood pulled from the Adriatic combined with Balkan cooking traditions that give it a character entirely its own. A full meal at a local restaurant costs between $2 and $4. A one-bedroom apartment rents for between $300 and $500 a month. Monthly groceries cost between $150 and $200. Private health insurance runs around $50 to $80 monthly. Total monthly costs for one person sit between $600 and $880, leaving $1,000 not just sufficient but also comfortable, with money remaining at the end of every month. The coastline in the south, running toward the Greek border, offers beaches and water clarity that belong to a different price category than the destination they most closely resemble. It is the kind of place that would be far more famous if it were located anywhere more expected. For now, that gap between what Albania offers and what the world knows about it remains open. Number 5. Vietnam. Vietnam stretches in a long, narrow curve down the eastern edge of the Indo-Chinese peninsula, and its character shifts so dramatically between regions that people who have experienced only one part of the country sometimes struggle to recognize descriptions of another. The north carries history in its landscape and rhythm, centuries of culture layered into the architecture, the food traditions, and the particular pace of daily life that feels more contemplative than anything the South offers. The South moves with a commercial urgency and urban momentum that has made it one of the fastest-growing economic regions in all of Southeast Asia. Between these two entirely different worlds, the central coastline offers something that neither the North nor the South can quite replicate: real infrastructure combined with beach access, reliable connectivity, and a daily cost of living that makes most Westerners calculate the numbers twice before trusting what they are reading. A one-bedroom apartment rents for between $280 and $480 a month. Monthly groceries sit between $100 and $150. A full meal at a real local restaurant, not a tourist establishment, a neighborhood place, costs between $1 and $3. Private health insurance runs around $60 to $80 monthly. Transport costs almost nothing. A single person can expect to spend $650 to $850 per month, with little to no meaningful sacrifice in comfort or quality of life. The food culture in Vietnam is not a secondary feature of daily life there. It is a central pleasure that changes the way people relate to eating entirely. Meals built on fresh herbs, rice noodles, slow-cooked broths, and ingredients that arrive from farms and fishing boats every morning are available from street stalls and neighborhood restaurants at any hour. Eating well in Vietnam is not an occasion. It is simply what an ordinary day looks like when food is grown close to where it is eaten and prepared by people who have been cooking the same dishes for generations. Vietnam has a depth that reveals itself gradually over months rather than days. The people who build the most satisfying lives there are almost always the ones who stopped treating their presence as temporary and began treating it as the point. Number 4. Malaysia. Malaysia sits at the southern tip of the Indo-Chinese peninsula and across the South China Sea on the northern coast of Borneo, and this geographical spread alone hints at the variety the country contains. Ancient rainforests. A capital city that operates with an efficiency and modernity that surprises most first-time visitors. The islands off Borneo's eastern coast are home to marine life that rivals the best anywhere in the region. Highland retreats sitting above the heat of the lowlands where tea plantations have been producing world-class tea for over a century. What makes Malaysia particularly compelling here is a combination that very few countries in Southeast Asia can match: a developed infrastructure, a multilingual population where English is widely spoken across all levels of society, a healthcare system that ranks among the best in Asia, and a cost of living that sits well below what that level of development would command anywhere comparable in the region. A one-bedroom apartment rents for between $250 and $450 a month. Monthly groceries sit between $120 and $180. A full meal at a local restaurant costs between $1 and $3. Private health insurance runs between $50 and $90 monthly. Total monthly costs for one person sit between $600 and $900. Malaysia's My Second Home program provides a renewable 10-year visa for qualifying applicants and has been welcoming international residents long enough that the infrastructure supporting expat life legal services, banking, healthcare, community networks is mature and well established. The food culture here deserves particular attention because it is one of the great underappreciated culinary traditions in the world. Nasi lemak, char kway teow, roti canai, laksa. Dishes that carry the influence of 3 major Asian civilizations and centuries of maritime trade are available from hawker centers that operate from early morning until well past midnight for prices that make cooking at home feel almost beside the point. Malaysia does not simply offer affordable living. It offers a daily quality of life in food, in infrastructure, in climate, and in cultural variety that $1,000 funds more completely here than almost anywhere else on this list. Number 3. Colombia. Colombia is a country large enough and varied enough that generalizing about it in any direction leads quickly to inaccuracy. Its Caribbean coast operates on a rhythm entirely different from the coffee-growing highlands of the interior. Its Pacific lowlands bear almost no resemblance to the colonial cities of the south. The Amazon begins in Colombia, so do the Andes. This is a country of extraordinary geographical range, and the experience of living there depends almost entirely on where a person chooses to be. What Colombia offers the person this video is speaking to is most honestly represented by what has happened in the Andes over the past 2 decades. A city that was once known internationally for entirely the wrong reasons rebuilt itself into something that urban planners and social scientists now travel to study. Cable cars connecting hillside neighborhoods to the valley floor. Libraries were placed deliberately in the areas that historically had the least access to education. A metro system that works. A public space culture that brings people outdoors in ways that most Western cities have forgotten how to encourage. A one-bedroom apartment rents for between $400 and $600 a month. Monthly groceries sit between $150 and $200. Public transport costs around $30 monthly. Private health insurance runs between $70 and $90. Total monthly costs for one person land between $750 and $1,000. And at that level, life includes a modern apartment, daily coffee from some of the best beans grown anywhere on Earth, and weekend access to mountains, valleys, and towns that feel like they belong to a different century. The pensioner visa requires proof of income around $750 a month, one of the lowest formal residency thresholds in Latin America. The coffee costs almost nothing and is extraordinary. The mangoes arrive at markets every morning in varieties that most of the world has never encountered. Colombia rewards people who engage with it honestly, and the people who do almost never describe the decision to move there as anything other than the best one they made. Number 2. Mexico. Mexico offers something none of the other countries on this list can quite replicate: the ability to build a different life abroad without fully severing the practical connections that make the early months of any international move feel manageable. The time zones stay familiar. Flights home are measured in hours rather than a full day of travel. The cultural distance, while real and worth taking seriously, is navigable in ways that moving to Southeast Asia or the Balkans is not for everyone. More than 1.5 million American citizens already live in Mexico, and the communities they have built range from the creative and cosmopolitan neighborhoods of the capital to the colonial architecture of the highland interior to the Yucatan Peninsula in the southeast, where one of the most livable, mid-sized environments in the country has been quietly developing an international reputation that its cost of living does not yet fully reflect. The Yucatan is a region of flat limestone plains, ancient Mayan ruins, underground rivers, and a food culture built on traditions that predate the arrival of Europeans by centuries. Cochinita pibil, sopa de lima, panucos, dishes found nowhere else in Mexico, prepared from ingredients that arrive fresh to markets every morning and sold from street stalls at prices that make cooking at home feel almost unnecessary. A one-bedroom apartment rents for between $350 and $550 a month. Monthly groceries sit between $150 and $200. A doctor visit at a quality private clinic costs between $30 and $50. Private health insurance runs between $80 and $100 monthly. Transport costs around $25 a month. Total monthly costs for one person land between $700 and $950. Americans can remain in Mexico for 180 days with no visa requirement at all. The temporary resident visa for longer stays requires proof of monthly income around $1,620. The Yucatan Peninsula consistently ranks among the safest regions in the country. That context matters and is worth understanding before making assumptions in either direction. And finally, at number 1, Indonesia. Indonesia is the largest archipelago on Earth. 17,000 islands stretching across a distance roughly equivalent to the width of the continental United States. It is a country of remarkable biological diversity, cultural depth, and geographical variety, although much of the world knows it mainly through one small island. That island makes the strongest case on this entire list for just how much $1,000 a month can provide. Bali is a Hindu island in a Muslim-majority nation, and that distinction has shaped it into something entirely singular, a living culture of ceremony, art, music, and spiritual practice that is present in the streets, the markets, the rice fields, and the daily rhythms of the people who have maintained it for centuries. Temple ceremonies happen continuously. Offerings are placed at doorways every morning. The sound of gamelan drifts from community halls during festivals, which occur frequently enough that anyone staying for any real length of time will encounter several without trying. A one-bedroom villa with a private pool rents for between $400 and $700 a month. Monthly groceries sit between $100 and $150. A one-hour traditional Balinese massage costs between $3 and $6. A full meal at a quality local warung costs between $1 and $2. Private health insurance runs between $50 and $80 monthly. Total monthly costs for one person in Bali land between $700 and $1,000. Indonesia's digital nomad visa allows remote workers to live in the country for up to 6 months with a straightforward renewal pathway. The landscape terraced rice paddies descending from volcanic mountains, black sand beaches in the north, white sand coastlines in the south, river gorges cutting through the interior changes the way people think about what they want their daily surroundings to look like. $1,000 a month in Bali does not buy a reduced version of a good life. It buys a private villa, daily massages, extraordinary food, and mornings that begin however a person chooses. It is the strongest argument on this entire list for what money is capable of when it is finally spent in the right place. These were 6 countries where $1,000 a month can still take you surprisingly far in 2026. Of course, each place offers something different, and the right choice always depends on your lifestyle and priorities. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.